for the Carousel Rag, the whole thing is just a simple chord progression. And I'll show you what the chord progression is now. It's a bar of E, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a bar of A, 2, 3, 4, and then a bar of E, 2, 3, 4, then a bar of A, 2, and then we do a bar of F sharp, 3, 4, then a bar of B seventh, and then a bar of E, and then a bar of A. The whole song is just those, that chord progression just being repeated 3 or 4 times. It's basically 5 1 5 1, and then what they'll call in jazz or in some other things a 6 2 5 1. So we're in the key of A. So the 6 is that F sharp, and then the 6 2, then the 2 of A, of course, is the B, and the 5 is the E, and then the 1. If that makes sense. Anyway, you can search 6 2 5 1, and you'll see stuff. Often it's written in Roman numerals. So anyway, I'm not going to go into too much depth on the Carousel Rag, but let me just show you the fact that that's true, that it's just that same chord progression. So this is E. So again, this is like the caged A shape, kind of what you would think of as the long A here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just doing a little bit of, what do you call it? Just some moves on the basic chord. I've got the chord, and then, you know, what are a few different little melody moves you can do with it? That's the whole thing. So there's some songs that do that, and so I thought, oh yeah, that's a little ragtimey thing I'm used to. Then we go to the A. Again, 5th position A, it just looks like that. That would be the caged E. And then I was just trying to think of something I might do, and while I was fooling around, I just something like that. Then we go back up to the E again. Instead of going back here, now I'm gonna do this E. It's an E ninth. You know, it's sort of like that C seventh shape, but it's the 9th version. It's here. And that's a common thing you'll see in that. I don't even know what degree of the chord that is. But I wanted to get that melody. That's a little bit of a stretch. So it's E, A, then back to E. And then I want to kind of close the loop of these 4 and then do it as sort of a closing thing so we can move on to the next section. So E, A, E. Okay, that's the first 4 bars. Now we're going to go to this F sharp, which is here. So I'm going to use this. I think of it as the Reverend Gary Davis C 7th. You might think of it as the Merle Travis C 7th shape, but it's up here, so it's a F sharp 7th. Again, it's derived from the sort of caged C form, but you'll see this. Also, it's just like the Doc Watson E 7th, but with the thumb over these 2. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's also a chord shape. It's so common that it's worth playing with it until you get it. It's commonly used in Merle Travis's Cannonball Rag. You know, you might have seen it there. A lot of people play Cannonball Rag without the thumb over, but that's a very common way. If you've got the thumb over, you can use this chord any place on the neck. So again, we've just finished the A. Now we're going to go to the F sharp. Then we're going to go to the B. And it's that B, just that common B. But I like to do it as, let's see, as a B 7th. And then one thing I've seen a lot is in other songs where you'll kind of slide up this section, and then you'll do a little playing around with the 9th of the chord and the 7th of the chord. So while I was fooling around with it, just came up with a. And I think I've been really enjoying a Facebook Live thing that Jonathan Stout's been doing, and he has that same move in a song that he composed and wrote recently. So I think that's the thing that reminded me of that nice little. Again, it's just a bar of B7. Then we're back then we're back to E7 again. So play it like that. And then A. But this A is ending the whole thing, and I'm going to start over again. So I want a kind of a bass run or something to lead into the next section. So then I kind of think about what am I going to do. And in this case, I tried to do a different run each time. But what I did the first time is... So... Again, you just kind of think of the melody and just think of it like a bass run. I don't think of myself as like a single line improviser or anything, but I do think of myself as somebody who plays cowboy chords and tries to connect them with bass runs, and so it's really not that different. And then we're back at the beginning. Next time through, after I end that section of the A, I do a little, it's just a little thing on the A chord. Again, that's all just A. That's that form of the A, and then this is just kind of a passing couple notes to this form of the A. It's just a little move that you see. Then I throw in a harmonic there. Now we start over again. Now we're going to be on E, but now I've said, okay, what can I do down in this part of the neck with E? And this is a E chord. You know, that it's like that E chord or that E chord. So then back to A. Again, nothing special, just kind of fooling around with that E shape. And then as I was playing with it, I realized I could go from here. So it's E, A, E, A. So I'm on A, I want to get back to E. So I'm going to go... That's nice. And now I want to go to the F7th, so I can actually use that same bass run, but don't go all the way down to E. Just go down to the F sharp. Just go down to F sharp so the first time I go. Now we go to the F sharp. So remember, up here we did, and here we go. And by the way, that little augmented fifth there is just another move that you see. And here I was going, that's a thing that happens in, I guess, maybe Deep River Blues, I'm not sure which. So it's a thing I know. I thought, oh, well, how do I get those notes down here? And just kind of figured out that that's where that note is. Oops. Then we're going to do the B7th, in this case in the form of a B9th. So I thought, so kind of get the inner voice thing going here. So we see, you know, that have that voice kind of moving down. So. Again, just kind of like fooling around with it. How can I find a voice in there that'll take me back to the A again? And then we just start over again. So anyway, the piece is basically just coming up with a chord progression and then improvising over it in different places and then deciding which little bits of the improvisation might work as kind of part of a set piece, and then deciding which parts. I tend to play like that for better or worse. Work things up and then play them. I'd really like to get to the point where I'm really improvising. I've got a set of chord changes and I'm improvising and doing interesting things all the time. But the fact is, maybe 10% of the things I do are like interesting. So then I just pick out those ones and then put them in. But I think improvisation is a lot of that too. Improvisation is a lot of, it's not necessarily coming up with brand new lines. It's coming up with a way to take lines and take little ideas that you've played before, but put them in a new order and let them build and let them sort of create a narrative arc for the for the piece. So, I mean, in this one, you know how I start up on the neck, then I go down to the low part of the neck, then I go back up to the high part of the neck, and then sort of end in the middle. It sort of gives the song some shape. Anyway, that's it. Hope it's useful.